You know what movie I watched the other day for the first time?
What movie?
Cars.
You watched that for the first time?
I had never seen Cars.
Oh my gosh.
I'm not a car guy.
It's a classic.
Yeah, I always thought it was weird how in the movie Cars, the doors never open on the cars.
It is an integral part of a car to use a door.
So I looked it up, and apparently the creative director of the actual movie gave an answer to this, Jay Ward.
What'd he say?
His answer was, you'll never see the car doors open because we don't want to see the brains and eyes fall out.
Gee.
Yeah, I was shocked by that. So that means their insides of the cars are actual flesh.
Right, the seats are organs.
Right, they're like a biological organism.
Yeah, I mean, you see the eyes blinking, you see the mouth talking. It's coming straight from the car.
And it gets even weirder. I read more into it, and he goes on to say that the cars got so advanced through the technological advancements of AI when they were learning to self-drive and all that.
Oh, Elon's Tesla.
Yeah, something like that. And they got so intelligent, these cars, that the last person that drove that car merged with the technology of the car, and the car took on its personality, the person's personality.
And they became one?
They became like a human, but a car. That's why it's all flesh inside. That's why it has eyes and talks. And the personality of the person it adapted from is who they are. So maybe Lightning McQueen's Jeff Gordon. And they pretty much eliminated the human race.
Yeah, there's zero humans in the entire Cars franchise.
Technically. Because technically they're the cars now.
Yeah. Well, now that you saw Cars, where does that rank on your Pixar movies?
I'd say middle of the pack. It's not an all-timer for me.
That's a fun watch. It doesn't pull at any heartstrings.
Yeah, not like WALL-E. WALL-E's number one for me.
WALL-E's good.
I love Monsters, Inc. too.
Monsters, Inc. is solid.
Oh, another theory from Monsters, Inc. Boo.
The child?
The little girl.
What about her?
Boo's the witch in Brave.
The movie Brave? Boo from Monsters, Inc.?
Yeah, that's who she grew up to be.
What makes you say that?
Because the witch's whole thing is that she can travel through time through these wooden doors.
Right.
That she makes. And that's a skill that Boo probably could have learned from the monsters, because those are the wooden doors that the monsters would go through.
Yeah, the doors to travel into the human's bedroom.
They had to be wood, made of like a special wood.
And Boo's the only human that saw how those worked.
And the whole idea is that she's like traveling through time to find Sully again. Because the witch has this crazy obsession with bears.
And Sully kinda looks like a bear.
Right. And one of her carvings was actually Sully.
Like, it didn't just look kinda like him?
It looked pretty much just like him, but wood. I don't really know how there would be any other way she would know what Sully is.
Yeah, as far as we know, Boo's the only one that saw him.
That was a human.
Right.
I don't know how Boo learned to travel through time, though. It's kind of crazy.
Well, I feel like there's always dots to connect with these Pixar movies. I feel like every week we find out something new. There's a new multiverse here, a new multiverse there.
That was crazy.
Well, guess what? I got a multiverse that's going to blow your mind. There's a Seth Rogan multiverse.
Does he have a different laugh in every universe?
Oh, his laugh is scary. But in the Chip and Dale movie, the new one, the Rescue Rangers one, Seth Rogen had a character. He was Bob, this deformed troll. And at one point, he fell down. And there were 3 characters that came to aid him. Pumbaa from the remake of Lion King, Bob from Monsters vs. Aliens, and Mantis from Kung Fu Panda. All voiced by Seth Rogen came to save Seth Rogen.
Oh, wow.
And they all laugh at the same time. And it's the scariest sound you'll ever hear.
Is it all the same laugh, or is he doing slightly different variations?
You think Seth Rogen can change up his laugh?
Yeah.
Well, now, when they have the sequel for Chip and Dale, they gotta throw Donkey Kong into the mix, too.
Are they doing a sequel?
They better. The movie was a hit.
Yeah, that's the most underrated movie, I think.
And it's got rewatch value. Like, there's so many hidden Easter eggs.
No one even knows about it either, that I've talked to.
And that movie is responsible for history.
What?
We had our first ever crossover between Cartoon Network, Nickelodeon, and Disney.
What was it?
It was in the new Chip and Dale movie, so there's Disney right there. But as they were walking on Hollywood Boulevard, with the Walk of Fame, they showed stars. And one person had a star. Their name was Samurai Jack.
Really?
A Cartoon Network star.
Could have just been a samurai named Jack.
Well, the other star was Squidward. Try explaining that one.
Wow.
A Nickelodeon star. So a Cartoon Network and a Nickelodeon star in a Disney movie.
It's crazy.
There's some other cameos in there too. Like there's a deformed Patrick that breaks out at some point.
From SpongeBob?
Yeah, they show Jimmy Neutron's hair.
I saw that.
Yeah, there's so many crazy cameos and Easter eggs that they get away with without getting copyrighted.
It's like South Park.
Randy Marsh is in the movie too.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. I gotta rewatch that.
Yeah, I don't think that movie did as well as we thought because it came out during the pandemic. So people weren't going to the theaters to see this thing. It just kind of came out on Disney Plus.
You know they're canceling Disney Plus now.
Are they?
Yeah, at the end of the year, you can't use Disney Plus anymore. It's all merging with Hulu.
Really? They're going to make Hulu one big thing?
Yep. I think they're going to make a new app, though. It's going to be like some crazy new big app. But yeah, with my last week, I guess, on Disney Plus, I rewatched Monsters, Inc. And there's a scene in Monsters, Inc. where one of the monsters, like, runs out scared. Like, somebody scared the monster. And for a brief second, we get to see into the room of the kid that scared the monster. And we see this poster that looks like kind of familiar. And so I looked it up, and it's the poster of Sid from Toy Story.
What?
The evil kid.
Was it a poster of him?
No, it's the poster that he has in his room.
Oh, so it's Sid's room.
Yep, with the same color wall.
Well, Sid's a scary kid.
Yeah, he's the real monster.
He definitely scared me with all his weird toy inventions.
Yeah, like, Sid was, like, one of the only characters I remember, like, not liking. Like, his scenes, I was like, oh, God.
Yeah.
Let's move on from this scene.
Just made me uncomfortable.
And did you know in Toy Story, one of the writers revealed who Woody's original owner was?
It's not Andy?
No, somebody gave him to Andy.
And we know who?
We do now. It's Andy's father, who we've never seen in the movie before.
Well, that explains why he's so worn down compared to the other toys. He's gone through it.
Andy explained Andy's father's entire backstory. How he had polio, and he was bedridden for most of his adult life. And in order to, like, not keep it from spreading, because back in the day, they didn't really know what that disease could do, they burned all his stuff. But the one thing he kept was Woody, locked away in a chest.
Jeez, no wonder that's Andy's favorite toy. All the sentimental value in that?
Yeah, and so his health improved. He was able to have Andy, but then when the disease returned later on, and he became, like, terminally ill, he gave Andy the key to the chest as he was passing, so that Andy would always have a best friend and something to remember his father by.
Wow.
So Woody might be the spirit of Andy's father.
Man, why is that not in the movie?
I know, that'd be a great scene.
A whole background, a whole emotional moment for Woody to add depth to his character. And it's just in the writer's room this whole time?
Yeah, that might be like Toy Story 5 or something.
Or at least give us one of those shorts with Andy's dad's origin.
Toy Story 3 actually has, like, some darker undertones too.
Like what?
The story of Toy Story 3 is basically a representation of World War II.
What? How?
Because the film starts off with Andy going off to college, leaving his toys behind, just like how the host nations left behind the Jews.
That's a bit of a reach.
Well, there's more to it. The toys, as you know, end up getting shipped off to that Sunnyside daycare.
Right.
That's like the concentration camps for the unwanted.
Oh man, I see where you're going with this now. I have one scene in mind.
Yeah, because then, a little later on, the toys get faced with an incinerator.
Yeah, I do remember that part.
I mean, luckily for the toys, they escape it. But some say that maybe the ending is just like the afterlife for the toys, and they actually did get burned alive.
Well, I think that theory only lasted until Toy Story 4, where they had a whole nother movie about the toys.
Do you know why Remy knows how to cook like the world's best ratatouille?
We're talking the rat here, right?
Yeah, from the movie.
Because he's the best chef? I don't know.
It's because earlier in Remy's life, he used to live under an old lady's house.
Right?
And this old lady used to cook the best ratatouille. And she used to cook it for somebody very special.
Well, who is it?
It's Ego.
Oh, the food critic?
Yeah, that guy.
That's why when he took a bite, it brought him back to him as a kid eating the ratatouille, because it was the exact same recipe as his mom's.
Yeah, that's who he learned it from.
But how do you know that was his mom? Could have just been any old lady with a good ratatouille recipe.
Well, it's because all like the little knickknacks in her kitchen are the exact same as they were at the beginning of the movie. So it has to be her.
Yeah, if that's the same house as the old lady and his mom, unless that house just got sold. That's a bit of a stretch, though.
Yeah. What even is Ratatouille?
I don't know. I thought it had some kind of meat slices in it because it looks like little pepperoni slices. But I guess it's vegan. Like, it's all vegetables and stuff.
Really?
Yeah.
That's weird.
Right? I thought it looks like meat.
I guess it's just like a special pasta or something.
You know who would love that dish?
My dog.
Kind of. Beast Boy from Teen Titans.
Really? Is he vegan?
He's vegetarian. But Beast Boy has to be vegetarian. He doesn't have a choice.
But I mean, if he can be like a tiger, how is he not eating meat?
Well, because he can transform into a tiger and every other animal. So that means if he eats any kind of meat, that would be cannibalism.
So?
So, you can't be doing that.
Why not?
That's against his morals. That's against anyone's morals.
Plenty of animals eat their own kind.
Well, Beast Boy has a bigger heart than that.
What even is Beast Boy? Like, did he get bit by like every animal?
So like I said, Beast Boy has the biggest heart. Beast Boy is always the most jovial, the happiest, the most carefree character in Teen Titans, but he has the saddest origin story of all of them.
How come?
So when he was younger, his parents were geneticists, and they would go around testing on different species, and they came across these green monkeys.
What?
Crazy species of animal. But that green monkey ended up biting Beast Boy. And so he turned sickly green. And their parents concocted some crazy serum to try to cure him. But instead, that serum collided with what infected Beast Boy and turned him into the beast we see today. It made his skin permanently green and he got all furry. And he can transform into any animal. And that may be a sad story as is, being stuck looking like such a freak compared to other humans. But it gets even worse for him. In a completely unrelated boating accident, both of his parents die. And he's left orphaned at a young age.
Damn.
But Beast Boy still has a good heart, and he wants to be a superhero. So he tries to join the superhero team. But they just keep on alienating him. They pick on him. They make him feel like an outcast. And eventually Beast Boy leaves the team because he feels like he's worthless. So he lost his family. And then he lost the team that he thought was going to become his family. And then was out on his own. Until he saw that Starfire got captured. And he helped her escape. And became part of the Teen Titans finally.
Wow, they took him that long to let him in?
Yeah, he couldn't find them until then. It was all by happenstance. Had to go through 2 or 3 different tragic backstories just to get into the Teen Titans.
Can Beast Boy turn into fish?
I think he's done that in a few episodes.
Like crabs or lobsters?
I mean, I don't think he really has a need to be a lobster. I mean, if he's gonna lift a bunch of weight, he's gonna become a mammoth. He's not gonna become Larry the Lobster.
That'd be the lobster to become. Big, strong lobster.
Well, if we're talking about Beast Boy's origin story, let's talk about Larry the Lobster's origin story.
Does he have one now?
Have you noticed that Larry the Lobster is the only lobster in SpongeBob?
Is that true?
Yeah, because we meet his parents in one episode. On SpongeGuard on Duty, there's an old couple that Larry's talking to, and when they walk off, they say he's a nice boy, just like how they raised him.
But are they lobsters?
No, they're regular fish. But one of the fish, his supposed mom, is Mabel. The old lady that's in every episode.
Oh, really? That's his mom?
Yeah, and if you go back to another episode, we find out that she dated Man Ray at one point. They went to prom together. Now you look at Man Ray, red, muscular, looks like Larry the Lobster.
I don't know if Man Ray's a lobster, though.
Yeah, he does have man in his name, but he's not an ordinary man because when he takes off his helmet, he has no head. So that means Man Ray is this weird spirit that can form fit into whatever suit he wants. So he may have just form fit into that Man Ray suit, just like how he could a lobster shell or any other fish, which could be how he made Larry.
So what's going on with that dude that Larry's mom's seeing now?
Stepdad. Can't be his real dad. He's not a lobster. Can't be any other lobsters because there's no other lobsters. Man Ray is a stretch.
Did he call him his dad?
No, he just talked to them like they're old chums. And he said, nice boy. And Mabel said, just like how we raised him.
We raised him.
Right.
So that guy did raise him.
Right. But he's not his biological dad.
Yeah, Man Ray was in prison.
Yeah, so that old man Jenkins looking fella stepped up while Man Ray was away.
Yeah, he's like the simp that like stepped up.
I feel like that's prevalent in every cartoon show in existence.
Well, they're all like goofs. Every dad's a goof in every show.
That is true. Not even cartoons, like sitcoms too.
Yep.
The dad's always the goof, but especially in cartoons. Like dating way back to the OG cartoons, or at least the OG cartoons that I watched. Like you look at the Flintstones, you got Fred Flintstone and Barney. They're both goofs.
Yeah.
You know, I watched the Flintstones, but I never knew there was a spin-off for that show.
Was it like the Jetsons or something?
No, there's a spin-off to the Flintstones, and we find out that Bam Bam and Pebbles are dating. They're in a relationship.
That's like 5-year-olds?
No! So the spin-off is called the Bam Bam and Pebbles Show, obviously, and it takes place in the future where they're in high school, and they're in a relationship. Why don't I
Really?
remember this?
Well, I mean, because decades ago.
And it was only one season. This blew my mind. They're in high school. They're part of a rock band.
I thought they were brother and sister.
I did too, but one belongs to
Barney and
Betty. One belongs to Barney and Betty, and the other one belongs to Fred and Wilma. And the whole concept of the show is just a cartoon version of like a high school teen drama.
Wait, is it live action or animated?
No, cartoon.
Oh, okay.
Cartoon. But they got like rock musical numbers in there. They got the drama and the romance. It's nothing like the regular Flintstones.
Yeah, what year was this?
I want to say 1971, and it ran for half a year. Like it's a moment in time.
Oh, wow, that's a long time ago. That's why you don't remember it.
Yeah.
That show belongs in like a time capsule.
I don't know. People that would open it up would be so confused.
Did you see they opened up this new time capsule?
No.
That's like 50 years old in New York City. There was this time capsule that was like drilled into the side of this building.
What in the world?
Yeah, and it says open it up in 2023. So they drilled it out of the wall, and it took them like hours and hours just to get out of the wall. And oh my god, when they opened it up, the inside of it, it was basically nothing.
What?
It was just like old stupid knickknacks.
Oh my gosh. Well, they didn't have anything back then.
I mean, there's plenty of stuff. But I mean, they replaced the new one to open up in 2073. Another 50 years.
What, do they throw some more knickknacks in there?
Yeah, I don't know what they put in there.
Gonna have to wait 50 years for it, I guess.
Yeah. I don't think they said what they put in there.
Yeah, that makes sense. Otherwise, why open it if you already know what's in
Yeah.
there? You know, I was doing some research on Avatar because that new live action series is coming out soon. So I was studying up, gearing up for it. I found out something crazy.
What?
Aang and Zuko are related
By blood?
by spirits.
What?
As you know, every avatar is spiritually related.
What do you mean?
The avatar that dies, its spirit moves on to the new avatar. So Aang has the spirits of the past avatars within him. So he's related to all of the past avatars.
Oh, so Ozai?
Right, so Avatar Roku is the grandfather of Lord Ozai. And Lord Ozai is the father of Zuko. So the strings attach to make Zuko and Aang related.
Barely.
Well, one side of the tree is through spirit, and the other side of the tree is through blood. And you meet at the middle point, you got a relation there.
I don't think there's any blood.
Zuko up to Roku is blood, and then Roku to Aang is spirit.
So there's no blood.
So through blood and spirit, they become related.
Yeah, but there's a missing link there between the blood and the spirit.
No, the link is there. It's Roku. It's Roku. They're related.
I'm not buying it.
I don't know what you would call them though. It's not cousins. Spirit cousins?
Right. Call them nothing.
Well, the other research I was doing for the new live action show is more legit. And it's some positive news.
About Avatar?
Yeah. The Cabbage Man from Avatar is gonna be back in the live action series.
Really?
As himself. The guy that voiced him in the animated series is gonna play the live action guy.
Oh, wow. That's crazy.
So we're gonna hear the same "my cabbages" in the live action series.
Well, that's huge. That means they're going to have, like, actual comedy in it.
Right.
That was the downfall of the movies. The movie. It was just, like, all serious.
Yeah, they better give a shining light to the cabbages in this series.
Have you caught up on Sonic Prime yet?
No, I haven't watched any of Sonic Prime. Like, not even an episode.
They just dropped the last trailer, and I think Sonic's about to die.
What? They wouldn't do that to Sonic.
Towards the end of the trailer, Shadow's got Sonic, and someone in the background saying, "Hurry, there's not much time." And Shadow's about to head through a portal that he can't even get into, because he's tried it before.
So what do you think's gonna happen?
Well, I mean, he's holding Sonic, so maybe that will allow him to go through. But I don't even know if it'll matter, because in the synopsis of the season 3, the final season, it says in the fine print that Sonic must make the ultimate sacrifice to save his friends and enemies alike.
Oh man, ultimate sacrifice can only mean one thing.
Yeah, himself. So it might be the end of Sonic.
Don't they do the different timelines and multiverses in that show? So is it just like one universe is Sonic that dies?
No, there's only one Sonic.
Oh wow.
Yeah, he's the only Sonic, but there's multiples of everybody else, except Shadow. There's only one Shadow too. He's just stuck in that Shadowverse, which is like the realm between all the worlds.
That makes sense, because I saw a bunch of Eggmans, a bunch of Amy's, a bunch of Rouges. I haven't seen any other Sonics. Like, they're all wearing this crazy gear.
Yeah, and in the trailer, they even say that Eggman's teaming up with Sonic now to take down 9.
Who's 9?
It's Tails, but like a different version of Tails.
Tails is the bad guy?
He is now. He turned on Sonic at the end of season 2.
That's crazy. He's the ultimate bad guy that needs everybody to team up to take down?
Yeah, because Sonic wanted the real Tails. And 9 kind of like got that impression from Sonic when like he was about to save the world and bring back his old world. That Tails was going to go back to his horrible life. 9. So he decided, screw it. I'm just taking everybody down. I don't want to deal with this.
That's crazy. I can't imagine Tails as a bad guy.
And he created like Metal Sonic, which looks like a badass.
Oh, love Metal Sonic. That's the one word I would use to describe him. Well, I guess 2. Badass.
And apparently this show is canon. So 9 might be like the original creator of Metal Sonic.
That makes sense, because only a version of Tails or Eggman would have the power to create such a powerful robot.
Of Sonic, which they both know so well.
Man, I'm gonna have to watch now. I gotta binge both seasons before this 3rd season comes out.
Yeah, I think it's coming out pretty soon.
Do they do anything with like Sonic and Amy in that show?
I mean, not really. Kind of. Some moments, but no.
I wonder how that dynamic would play out, because they never commit one way or the other. If they're a couple, or if they're just friends, or if Amy's just obsessed with Sonic, you can never really tell.
Yeah, Sonic never really goes down that romance lane.
I think it's because Amy was never supposed to be part of Sonic's romance storyline.
What?
Sonic's original love interest wasn't Amy Rose.
Wasn't?
It was Cream the Rabbit.
Oh, I remember Cream. Yeah, that kind of makes sense.
Because Sonic was originally supposed to be a rabbit.
What?
Yeah, the original design for Sonic was a rabbit. So his love interest would have to be a rabbit. And since Sonic was created to try to rival what Nintendo was doing with Mario, they wanted to model their story after it. So they needed a damsel in distress, like Peach, which is why Cream is so princess-like and well-mannered. And she even treats the Chows just like how Peach treats the Toads.
Yeah, but who is Amy supposed to be with? If she's like the Daisy, she's the more independent, strong queen.
Right. Amy was supposed to be the Daisy to Cream's Peach.
She's probably supposed to get with Knuckles. They kind of look alike.
Well, Knuckles is an echidna.
Well, he's a hedgehog, right?
Is an echidna a kind of hedgehog? Or are they two different animals? But it doesn't matter, because when they switched Sonic to a hedgehog, he needed a hedgehog love interest anyway. So that's where they plugged Amy in, and then Cream became Amy's best friend instead.
Has Tails ever had a love interest?
No, they got no one for Tails. Even in Sonic Adventure Battle 2, they paired him up with Eggman for their story. I think
Yeah. Damn.
I think in the third Sonic movie, we should get some love for Tails.
Yeah, make him some kind of fox.
They're bringing out the big guns for this third movie. They're going to bring in Amy, I'm sure. They'll bring in
Rouge.
They already confirmed Shadow. And there's one crossover that you may not be expecting. We could get a Sonic and Garfield crossover.
What?
So, in order for this to make sense, you got to rewind time back to the 1990s. There was a crossover with Sonic and Garfield where they combined Sonic games and Garfield games onto one disc. And they were on the cover, and it became iconic. And now we fast forward in time. They both got movies, and there's one thing connecting the two. And it's product placement.
Oh, lasagna?
Kind of. Italian food. There's so much forced product placement in Sonic about one restaurant, and it's Olive Garden.
The OG.
And then you go to the Garfield trailer, and what bag is in the fridge?
OG.
An Olive Garden bag. Olive Garden is going to bring us the new Sonic and Garfield crossover on the big screen.
Speaking of the big screen, Peaches got snubbed from the Oscars.
Oh, it's a travesty. It makes no sense. Peaches was like the most popular song of the year. Forget movie songs. I'm talking just regular songs.
Yeah, it's like Peaches and Ken are the only two memorable songs of the whole year.
Yeah, those are the only two that I heard outside of the movies. So for it to not even get nominated is crazy.
Yeah.
Jack Black poured his heart and soul into that song. And to get nothing out of it is a disgrace.
And did you hear? He said that he has no word about the sequel.
Yeah, he said there's radio silence on a new Mario movie.
Yeah, it sucks. Like, I've been trying to forget that he said that.
It's brutal news. It's punch after punch for Mario fans. My only hope is that they're working on the Donkey Kong movie, and so they don't need Bowser, so he hasn't been looped in on the plans.
Yeah, remember the rumor that just came out that Illumination just pitched that Smash Bros. Movie, so still some hope.
Yeah, they're working on the Link movie, that's confirmed. Maybe they're working on some Kirby, some Metroid on the side, getting Donkey Kong done, and then they'll come back to the Mario movie.
Maybe Luigi's Mansion.
Yeah, Luigi's Mansion would be a good one, too.
And I'm pretty sure Miyamoto would want a Super Mario Bros. 2 and 3 to complete the OG trio.
I think he would want a 2 and 3 just because of the money. Look how much money the first one made.
Yeah, that's true.
And you know Miyamoto's all about the money because I found something out in the first movie that makes total sense now.
What is it?
I thought it was so strange that the Kongs had exclusive rights to the karts in the Mario movie. When it's Mario Kart, it's not Donkey Kong Kart.
Yeah, that was something I did not see coming.
Well, now I know why. They announced Donkey Kong Country coming to Super Nintendo World in Japan.
Oh, yeah.
And the main attraction is a kart roller coaster.
Oh.
So they wanted the movie to promote their kart roller coaster, so they made karts such a huge part of the Donkey Kong universe in the movie.
Jeez, that makes sense.
That Donkey Kong ride does look sick, though.
Yeah. We kind of went on the ride during the movie. We did the 4D experience.
Oh.
Our chairs were moving like crazy. It was awesome.
Was insane.
That was the best thing.
Oh, I do not recommend 4D Mario movie.
100% recommend it.
Oh, I felt so sick.
Best thing you can do. It's like we were on the Donkey Kong kart ride.
And I wanted to get off.
Wentworth Bros.